After I asked her not to go camping with her ex, she posted, "Why do men get jealous of male friends?" I didn't respond. I just changed my emergency contact and canceled dinner with her family. Everything happened last weekend, and honestly, I'm still trying to process how quickly it all fell apart. I had been with my girlfriend Daniela for 2.5 years, and until recently, I thought our relationship was pretty solid. For the past year, we had established a tradition of having Sunday dinners with her family. Her parents welcomed me warmly, and her sister, Sophia, always made me feel like part of the group. It was a family dynamic I truly valued. About 3 weeks ago, Daniela casually mentioned that her ex-boyfriend, Tamaz, was organizing a camping trip with some old college friends. She said she wanted to go because she hadn't seen the group in a while and wanted to reconnect. I didn't like the idea at all. Daniela and Tamaz had dated for 3 years in college, and though they remained on cordial terms after their breakup, he always acted strangely around me. He'd bring up shared memories or try to exclude me from group conversations, those kinds of behaviors. Plus, this wasn't just a casual meetup. It was a weekend in the middle of the woods with tents, drinks, and plenty of time together. In my opinion, that setting could easily lead to impulsive decisions. I told Daniela I wasn't comfortable with the idea. It wasn't a demand or an ultimatum. I simply shared how I felt. Her reaction was immediate. She got defensive. She accused me of being insecure, saying Tamaz was in the past and that she had the right to maintain friendships with whomever she wanted. I tried to explain that it wasn't about forbidding her or being jealous. It was about setting clear boundaries in a committed relationship, but she wouldn't hear it. She said I was trying to control her and that it wasn't fair. For days, we argued without reaching any agreement. I pointed out that a camping trip organized by her ex was very different from grabbing coffee with a friend, but she insisted I was overreacting and that it was just an innocent trip. Finally, I told her honestly, if maintaining this friendship is more important to you than respecting how I feel about boundaries in a relationship, then maybe we want different things. Her response was to call me dramatic and accuse me of giving her an ultimatum, when all I was asking for was understanding. On Sunday afternoon, Daniela posted a lengthy message on Instagram about how men get jealous when women have male friends. She talked about how some try to disguise control as concern, and that women shouldn't have to sacrifice friendships to make their partners feel secure. She didn't mention me directly, but it was obvious who she was referring to. The comments came quickly. Her friends applauded her stance, talking about toxic masculinity and possessive relationships, framing it as an act of bravery on her part. I didn't respond, comment, or like the post. I just took a screenshot and thought about the real message behind it. That's when I realized Daniela not only disagreed with my perspective, but didn't respect it, and worse, didn't care about my feelings. She was using her platform to portray me to everyone as the insecure, controlling boyfriend who didn't want her to have male friends. On Monday morning, I made a decision. I called HR at my job and asked to change my emergency contact, removing Daniela and replacing her with my brother, Martin. I also updated my medical directive and all insurance and legal contact information, putting everything in Martin's hands. When I called him to let him know, he was surprised. "Everything okay with Daniela?" he asked. "Not really," I said. "I'll explain later, but I needed to make this change." That same night, Daniela came over for dinner as if nothing had happened. She was in a good mood, talking about final plans for the camping trip, as if our arguments never took place and she hadn't posted anything online. I listened quietly as she talked about hikes and campfire recipes. I didn't mention the post or the changes I'd made. It wasn't worth arguing. On Tuesday, I decided to speak directly with her parents. Claudia and Hector had always treated me well, and I felt they deserved an explanation. I called Claudia and asked if we could talk privately. I told her Daniela and I were going through a rough patch and that I likely wouldn't be able to attend Sunday dinner. She was immediately concerned and asked what had happened and if she could help. I calmly explained, without exaggerating, what had been going on, that Daniela was planning to go camping with her ex-boyfriend, and when I expressed my discomfort, she chose to air our issues on social media, framing my concern as controlling and jealous. I told her I wasn't asking them to take sides, just that they understand why I no longer felt welcome. "I don't want to put you in an awkward position, Claudia, but I needed you to know why I probably won't be around as much moving forward." Claudia was silent for a few seconds, processing everything. Then she said sincerely that she appreciated my honesty. "That doesn't sound like the Daniela we raised," she commented. She said Daniela could make her own decisions, but I couldn't stay in a relationship where my honest boundaries were publicly mocked. She thanked me for talking to her and said she hoped we could work things out. On Wednesday, I had a similar conversation with Hector. His reaction was about what I expected, respectful and sensible. "If something bothers you, there's probably a valid reason behind it," he said. On Thursday afternoon, Daniela was packing her backpack for the camping trip, putting in her sleeping bag and hiking clothes, acting as if everything between us was fine. As she zipped up her bag, she asked, "You sure you're okay with me going?" "You've already made your decision, Daniela," I replied. "I've made mine too. What's that supposed to mean?" she asked. "That you're free to have whatever friendships you want with whoever you want." She seemed satisfied with that response and went back to her packing. On Friday morning, Daniela left for the camping trip. She gave me a kiss before leaving and said she'd text me when they arrived. Around 3 p.m., she sent a message saying they'd reached the campsite and everything was perfect, accompanied by a group photo of everyone setting up tents. That night around 9 p.m., she called to say they were having a great time, cooking by the fire and catching up. She sounded like she'd been drinking. "I miss you, love. I wish you were here," she said. I responded with a simple, "Have fun, stay safe." On Saturday, I didn't hear from her. No texts, no calls, no social media posts, complete silence. Late that night, around 11 p.m., my phone started buzzing. Daniela was calling. I didn't answer. She tried again immediately. I still didn't pick up. A third call came within 2 minutes. Nothing. Then the text started. She asked why I wasn't responding, demanded I call her back. I put my phone on silent and went to bed early. Sunday morning, I woke up to 31 missed calls and nearly 50 messages. It was clear she was panicking from my lack of response. Her texts went from worried to angry to desperate. She was completely shaken. Instead of calling her, I drove to her parents' house. I knew it would likely be the last time I'd share a Sunday dinner with them, and they deserved an explanation. Claudia and Hector were surprised to see me arrive alone. I told them Daniela was still at the campsite and that I needed to talk about our relationship. "I want you to know that Daniela and I are going to break up. This is probably my last dinner here." Claudia was genuinely sad. Hector, though disappointed, didn't seem too surprised. I explained how Daniela had chosen to prioritize her closeness with her ex over my boundaries, and instead of talking to me, opted to mock my concerns on social media, casting me as the jealous, controlling boyfriend. Hector nodded, understanding. "That's not how you resolve relationship problems," he said. I realized we wanted completely different things in a relationship. She wanted absolute freedom without considering her partner's feelings. I wanted mutual respect and real communication. We had a final, cordial dinner. Claudia packed me some food to take home, as she always did. They both hugged me before I left and said they were sorry things ended this way. Around 6 p.m., Daniela returned from the camping trip. As soon as she got home, my phone started ringing. "Where the hell were you? I called you all night and all day. I was about to call hospitals," she said. "I was having dinner with your parents," I replied. "And why didn't you answer me?" "Because I was explaining to them why I won't be going to those dinners anymore." There was a long silence. "What are you talking about?" "That you chose to go camping with your ex instead of respecting my feelings about our relationship. It was just a trip with friends, and that social media post, calling you controlling, was just a way to express how I felt," she said, lowering her voice. "You think I didn't see it? Everyone saw it, Daniela. That was the point. I wasn't upset. Nothing happened on that trip, I swear." "Maybe not, but your priorities became clear the moment you chose to mock me publicly instead of having an honest conversation privately. You're leaving me over a post. I'm leaving you because you don't respect me or this relationship enough to handle conflicts like an adult." Update: 3 days later, Daniela has been trying to repair the damage, but she's starting to face the real consequences of her choices. Her parents are disappointed with how she handled everything, and she knows it. Yesterday, Sophia, her sister, called to check on me. She said Daniela has been crying to her mom, claiming I overreacted to a simple camping trip. But her mother was clear. Using social media to attack instead of talking directly was immature and disrespectful. Claudia also told her that airing relationship problems publicly instead of communicating with the person involved shows a huge lack of judgment. Meanwhile, Daniela has been posting vague messages, implying that some people can't handle independent women. Her friends, as expected, are backing her up, but her family has been much more critical, according to Sophia. The camping trip didn't go as Daniela imagined. Apparently, Tamaz spent much of the weekend flirting with her and acting inappropriately. She felt uncomfortable and wanted to leave early. That's when she started calling me desperately, unable to reach me. That's when she realized my silence wasn't accidental. Something serious had changed. My brother Martin called me, concerned because Daniela had contacted him, trying to track me down. She told him it was an emergency and needed my number. I told him that if it was truly urgent, she should call emergency services. Apparently, she didn't like that response. Second update: a week later, yesterday, Daniela tried again to reach out. She showed up at my apartment, saying she wanted to talk and try to fix things. She apologized for the Instagram post and admitted that going camping with Tamaz probably wasn't a good idea. She said she now understood why it upset me so much. I listened to her apology but made it clear it wasn't enough. "Daniela," I said, "this wasn't a simple mistake. You didn't just make a bad decision, you chose to attack my character publicly instead of talking to me. I know I messed up. I'll delete the post and apologize publicly, she said. It's too late for that. You showed me how you handle conflicts in a relationship. I didn't mean to hurt you. I was frustrated. Frustrated people seek dialogue. Disrespectful people make hurtful posts. Don't confuse the two. She tried to argue that everyone makes mistakes and she deserved another chance. But it wasn't a slip-up, it was a choice. She chose to prioritize her ex over how I felt and then mocked my boundaries publicly. She left upset, but I think she finally understood that some actions can't be undone. 3 weeks later, Daniella's life after the breakup has changed a lot. Her family has supported her, but hasn't held back their disappointment in how she handled things. Claudia told her she ruined a good relationship over a trip with someone who doesn't respect boundaries. Hector was even more direct, saying public disrespect destroys relationships faster than any private argument. As for her dating life, things aren't going well. The guys she's interested in have heard about what happened, and it's hard to trust someone known for publicly attacking their partner. Tomás kept pursuing her after the camping trip, but she was no longer interested. It seems she only wanted his attention while it served as a shield to justify her actions against me. Once single, his persistence became uncomfortable. My life, on the other hand, has improved significantly without all that drama. The feeling of walking on eggshells, trying to avoid a simple disagreement turning into a public spectacle, is gone. I'm now seeing someone who knows how to communicate. We don't always agree, but we talk. No passive-aggressive social media posts, no veiled mockery, just honest conversation. I don't share your perspective, but let's figure out why we see things differently. It's amazing how simple it can be to be with someone when both people want to understand each other instead of winning arguments. Daniella learned that public humiliation has private consequences. Instead of resolving our disagreement privately, she sought validation online. She got it, sure, but she lost the relationship she claimed to value. Sometimes, the healthiest thing you can do when someone publicly disrespects you is to walk away quietly. Daniella got exactly what she posted about wanting, the freedom to have whatever friends she wanted, without her controlling boyfriend's input.